Hey everyone, welcome back. My name is Shannon of Vaping Crazy, whatever you want to call me, I don't care. And we're back with another vape episode today. We are going to rebuild the OCC coil on the Kanger Subtank Mini. That sounds like fun. Alright, so the coil I have in here now is a rebuilt coil. It's vaping at 0.9 ohms. 0.9 ohms. So, what I want to do is, it's vaping great. The flavor is great. I'm vaping it at 24 watts. Flavor's great, vapor's great. Everything is great about this coil. I like it. So what I'm going to do is show you how I built this coil, but when I rebuild it, instead of shooting for I was trying to get like 0.8 was my hope, because that's really where I like to vape. I'm going to try to go a little bit lower and see how that works out. So I'm hoping to get it down to about 0.5, 0.6, where the actual coil is when you get it. So, hey, let's get down and dirty and see how this thing works. Alright guys, so here's the tools I'm going to be using. I'm going to be using a coil jig, my little snips, 26 gauge Kanthal, organic cotton, a spare little rod, screwdriver, and tweezers. Those are the things I'm going to be using for this build. So let's get to it. First thing we got to do is disassemble the Subtank. Alright, so I'm going to dry this off a little bit so my hands aren't going to be ridiculously juicy while I do this. Alright, so now we have that off. Here's the coil right here. Inside of there, you can see the build we have. Now the first thing we want to do is get this, this cotton out. So the way I'm going to get this cotton out is what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this. I'm just going to push that cotton through. Get that cotton through enough to where you can grab it with something. I'm going to grab it with the tweezers. You'll probably see me drop this like 5 times because I have horrible hands. I'll pull it out a little bit. Once I pull it out a little bit, I can grab it with my fingers. I'm just going to twist that cotton. And as I twist the cotton, it's going to pull right out. That's how you get the cotton out. Now, when you do this, the first time, it's going to be a little bit tougher because I thinned up the wick a little bit. All right. So now what we're going to do is we're going to pop this. We're going to pop this this old coil out, and the way we're going to do that is we're going to take this pin out. You got a pin on the bottom right here. Take that pin out. There you go. Pins out. Now you're going to notice you have one wire sticking out here. So you got that one wire sticking out in the middle, the other one's over here. So I'm going to pull out this rubber grommet as well. Rubber grommet is now out. You can see the 2 leads there. Now what you want to do, just grab these leads and you can pull that coil out right from the bottom. It's going to be a little bit tough to get out, but you can get it out. Pull it out. You can see there we got the coil there. That was my build. This was 5 wraps. That gave me on 26 gauge Kanthal. That gave me a 0.9 ohm build. I'm gonna go to 4 wraps, see how that goes, and see that where that leads us. Okay, so I want to pull out some wire. I get a generous amount of wire out. Okay, I'm going to use this coil jig because I have ridiculously weak hands. However, with this coil jig, what you want to do is don't wrap it around. Simply place it in one side. All right, there we go. And then once we place it, we're going to wrap it around this 4 times. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4. So I have 4 wraps on there now. All right, now, so there's 4, you got the 4 wraps on there right there. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this and I'm going to shove it up against this post here. So I shove it up against that post, which makes the coils nice and tight. Next, I'm going to take it off of this coil jig. That's looking pretty decent. All right, I'm going to leave these leads nice and long. That way I have something to work with as I pull it through. Okay, so I'm happy with that. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to pinch these leads together. I'm going to push them down through the bottom. Then I'm going to, once you have them through the bottom, I'm just going to grab them down here at the bottom, pull this coil in. There we go. Now we have it inside of the tank, or the coil head. Now what I'm going to do is grab this a little bit, it's a little bit smaller, this pin here. I push it through and I make sure that it goes through the coil as well. Hopefully you guys can see that. All right, so hopefully you can see that there. I make sure it goes through the coil. All right, once it goes through the coil, on the bottom of this, you have two little notches. One right here, one right here. That's where you want the leads to line up with. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our rubber grommet, we're going to put one through the center, and leave one outside of the rubber grommet. That's how it's going to look there. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this lead over here and I'm going to pull it tight and pull it into that groove that's there. So I pulled that tight into that groove. That's what it looks like there. Then I'm going to push this rubber grommet in. So I've pushed that rubber grommet in. That's what it looks like here. You want to make sure that the coil is staying centered, as you can see here. All right. Now we need to clip these leads. You want to clip this lead here so that it sits underneath this rubber grommet, but not completely inside the rubber grommet. So it needs to be clipped really, really close. And then on the top lead here, you want to clip this so when it sits in that pin, that it's on the rubber grommet but not protruding out the side. That's the key here so that you don't short this thing out. Okay, so I have these things clipped now. I still have the coil centered in there by using my pin. Once that's finished, you want to take the middle center pin insert here and stick it in. I drop things all the time because I have bad hands, but yeah, you want to stick this right in here. Bam. That's gonna hold your coil in place and everything else. So that's what it looks like. Rub your finger around here. Make sure you can't feel that lead sticking out because you don't want it hitting anything shorting out. And that's what it looks like here. Next, we're going to put the cotton in. All right, so I'm going to take a piece of organic cotton and I'm going to cut it similar size to this hole, but a little bit bigger. So you want it a little bit bigger so there's some tension that happens in the coil. This is what size cotton I used. What you want to do is take the end. You're going to take that end, twist it up nice and tight. Then we're going to take the coil head and we're going to feed it through. That's almost coming out. I'm going to grab my tweezers and grab it. So I grab that with my tweezers, I give it a little pull, and as you can see, I can pull this through. There's not tons of tension, but there's tension. As you can see, I can pull it back and forth. All right. That's what it looks like. I'm going to take this and I'm going to cut this excess off. I'm going to leave a little bit left though. So I cut the excess off. This is what it looks like. I left 2 little tails there. And then I'm going to take these tails, I'm going to put a spot of juice on here just to get them a little wet. Easier to work with. Juice that up nice and good. All right, then I'm going to take this and I'm just going to shove that down in here. Nice and easy. Now, once I get it down in there, I usually go to my tweezers and just finish it up. Now it's sitting nice and flush against that wall there. All right, I'll flip over to the other side, do the same thing. A little bit of an art form, but you get the point. There you go. Looking nice and centered in there. This should be good to go. I'm going to take it, I'm going to pop it onto the on here. This should go slide in nice and easy. If it catches on anything, you might have an exposed wire. It could short out. So I'm going to throw this on the ohm reader, see what this ohms out at. I'm guessing it's going to be about 0.5, 0.6, somewhere in there. It's actually ohming out at 0.78, which is perfect for what I want. So that works out well. Let's throw it onto the eye stick. Put it on the eye stick. It's ohming out at 0.8. Might be my wraps are a little too far apart. That might be the issue. But hey, works for me. Let's see how it vapes. Now, as always with these coil heads, you want to put a few primer drops in here. I'm going to put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 down in there. Also going to put some right there. Right there. And we'll put this back on the tank. All right. We got it back on the tank all set up. Let's go back up top, see how she vapes. All right, so she's been sitting on here for a few minutes. I'm going to take a few primer puffs. I'm going to let it sit for a while longer. All right, so it is now ohming out at 0.8 on the eye stick. I don't know. All right, so let's hit her, see how she vapes. Oh, got to open the airflow back up. Not too shabby. I'm going to put it on 2 air holes here just to help it wick itself a little bit better. It was wicked okay, but yeah. Not too shabby. So that's how you can recoil these things. I mean, I have horrible hands. That's why I use the jig. I have horrible hands. I use a jig. I'm able to do it. If I can recoil these things, rewick them, there's no reason why you can't either. And I mean, the vape, it's good. It's a good vape. Works out well. So that's how you do it. Hey guys, please subscribe to the channel. It really helped me out. I do appreciate it. We got lots of stuff coming for you. I'm doing my best to purchase as many e-liquids as I can, purchase as many mods as I can, so I can help you guys out in making buying decisions. I mean, it's a passion for me. I don't want anyone smoking. So if I can help them to get off of those cigarettes, that would be fantastic. The reason I do this, I don't know if I've ever mentioned this, the reason why I quit smoking in the first place 8 years ago was because my dad passed away of lung cancer at the tender age of 49. I don't want that to happen to anyone else's father. I don't want it to happen to me. And but I loved smoking, so I'm very thankful for this. If this was around when my dad was alive, I'm confident that he would still be here. So get off the cigarettes, get on these. Thank you guys. Smash that subscribe button. I appreciate all your support. Thanks. Have a fantastic day, and we'll see you on the next Vape-isode. Bye.